Another classic movie review, AJ.
Are we still in the 20 territory, or are you going to kill me with a 30? Shivers. Okay, let's do it, because we've got to do it. It's just, c'est la vie.
Ooh, it's not nice. This one's gonna sting you, bro.
Oh, I don't want to bring up the poster, but AJ, 30 years old. Tom Hanks and Denzel Washington in Philadelphia.
Now, this
Ouch.
I have seen.
Yes.
This I have seen.
Take the reins.
It's really funny because what I like about it hurts that it's 30 years old, but what I'm going to say is something, because Philadelphia just last week was a topic of discussion. I don't know if I mentioned it to you last week, but I definitely mentioned it to my mate John at work, because there was that age-old discussion of cinema. 2023 doesn't have anything in the cinemas anymore. Films, Hollywood's dead. But you know, one of the
You did mention this, and we both poo-pooed on it.
Yeah, what I like about John is he's quite open to it, and he says it's not Hollywood's fault, it's my fault, because I'm not going out to support cinema, and we're not seeing these what I like to call middle ground films.
That's good.
Yeah, you know, it's middle ground films. It's not indie, but it's not blockbuster. Now, by sales, you could say this is a blockbuster, but it's not your traditional blockbuster with your monsters, like dragon, you know, dinosaurs and explosions, a la normal Tom Cruise movies and all the rest. This is what I like to call a very middle ground movie, and this is what I like about
exactly
that era that we had 30 years ago, not so much 20 years ago, definitely 30 years ago, is that, and this was my example. I was like, where would Philadelphia be if released in 2023? I don't know.
Oscar darling.
Yeah, and that's what it is.
It as an Oscar darling.
And don't get me wrong, it would be released in the same time that it was, just in time for the Oscars and for it to just about qualify.
Yeah, it would have its marketing trail.
Yeah. But that's really sad. And this is one of those films that I have to be honest. Do you know what we have to really acknowledge? And I know the birdcage can also fall into this. It was very brave to release a film like this in this time.
Jesus, right? Yes.
Because, you know, call it ignorance as you want. Homosexuality was still something that people were kind of coming to terms to, you know, in a way. And it was something that was ridiculed quite a lot. You know, you could go back to a lot of the jokes that were out there in mainstream, that it's something that you couldn't accept it from someone. You just took it as something, he's a gay, you know, say to someone.
Yeah, but we were 6 years removed from Eddie Murphy's Delirious here.
Do you know what? I wasn't too sure of the time, so I didn't want to quote it, but this is the kind of thing I'm talking about, you know? And I wouldn't be shocked if there were other stand-up comedians doing it in that year and after the release.
God, yeah.
So all of this is happening, and then you've got two stellar actors who, to this day, we can talk about the power that they bring in movies. And I'm going to give a touch more credit to Hanks in this, because he's taken the risk of playing a homosexual in that time where it was
being typecast, right? When he was still just doing comedy movies and stuff.
Yeah, and this is it. So you've done that, and then you've got Denzel Washington, who is a lawyer, who very much represents what society would have looked at the time. Like, I'm not entertaining you know, I'm not going to use the derogatory term that I think he uses in that film. It begins with an F, you know? It's the views that you've got on it. And with that, you've got this film and you're like, okay, young and dumb, I'm going to put my hand up. You're like, I kind of get what you're saying. But that's the way society kind of portrayed it. But this film opens your eyes to people are people, the struggles that go on, the way things are doing. And I remember it being moving as hell. Not only was it moving for the LGBTQ plus community, it was also very eye-opening for what this condition is and how it deteriorates a person. You know, you were just like, again, and it sounds very bad. It was like, oh, gays, AIDS, and that was it. What this film shows you is a real mover. Like, it won the Oscar, right? So deserving.
Hanks won the Oscar for this.
Yeah, Hanks. What a performance from Hanks! What a performance from Hanks! It's the film that you didn't know you needed. Is what I would call Philadelphia. Honestly,
do you know there's something I'll add to this, because I think you make a very good point about the whole homosexuality as a main theme and topic in a movie was still incredibly taboo. And, you know, as I said, in my part, we were 6 years out from Eddie Murphy doing a whole bit on Mr. T being bummed in Delirious, right? So this was still peak make fun of gays time. The fact that they had the balls to take a comedic actor, which I know it's crazy to think of Tom Hanks like that now,
Yeah.
but you know, Turner and Hooch,
Big.
Big. Tom Hanks was. There was another one. The Graduate. No, not The Graduate. That was Dustin.
He's got one where it's like Frat House or
There's
something like that. I don't know.
House. Thank you. I think you're quite right. Tom Hanks was a comedic actor, and they not only put him in a position where he was having to deliver subject matter which was like prime subject matter for stand-up comedians, but make him deliver it in a dramatic way. AJ, let's also not forget, Denzel wasn't Denzel yet.
Yeah.
To have in a movie a relatively untested black actor in a role opposite a comedic actor playing a homosexual, like in 1993, that's recipe for disaster.
Risky. Yeah.
That's like casting a transgender actor and a real dwarf now. It's like you asking for trouble.
Yeah. Yeah.
You, whether right or wrong, you are asking for a PR nightmare. Doubt me? Try it out. Try and make a legitimate, similar budget leveled AA movie, Oscar contender, starring a transgender actor and a dwarf that's not Peter Dinklage. Oh my God, there will be fun online if that happens.
Well, listen, you're not even allowed to put 7 of them into a Snow White movie.
Well, there's not even 7 of them now, is it? They're CGI.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You're not even allowed. You remove Peter Dinklage, that's it. 7 aren't even allowed to be hired. So you're not wrong.
Yeah. And back then,
Dinklage, it's not the subject.
I know he does my head in now, doesn't he? Talented as he is, he really does my head in with his stance on that. But yeah, an untested black guy and a comedic actor playing a homosexual in 1993, shouldn't have worked. And yet, we've got two of the all-time great performances, certainly 2 of the all-time great 90s performances. And if you're not familiar with Philadelphia, here's the trailer to tantalize your taste buds, which we're going to watch along with you now. AJ, if you could get the screen up, please.
Yes, done.
Oh, thank you. Where have you gone? Here we go.
Highline Incorporated is now represented by Wyant, Wheeler, Hellerman, Tetlow, and Brown. And more specifically, Andrew Beckett.
Yes! Bravo!
Yeah, because it feels comedic at this time, doesn't it?
Yeah, you can see he hasn't quite got his dramatic chops yet.
Mr. Beckett, how are you? What happened to your face?
I have AIDS.
Oh.
I'm seeking representation.
You want to sue Wyant, Wheeler, Hellerman, Tetlow, and Brown?
And you see the stigma just by shaking her hand at this time.
About pneumonia.
What's that on your forehead, pal? Andy, everyone in this room is your friend.
I misplaced an important complaint. That's their story.
We've been talking it over, your future, that is, and we feel that because we respect you so much, we must be honest with you.
Excuse me. Am I being fired?
Would you accept a client if you were constantly thinking, I don't want this person to touch me,
I have a case.
I don't want them to even breathe on me?
You don't want it for personal reasons.
Thank you. That's correct. I don't.
That's very disappointing.
Sir, wouldn't you be more comfortable in a research room?
No. Would it make you more comfortable?
This film is so
Beckett,
powerful.
how you doing?
Counselor.
Did you find a lawyer?
There's going to be things said at the trial that are going to be hard for you to hear.
I want to know everything about his personal life. What deviant groups did he secretly belong to?
I didn't raise my kids to sit in the back of the bus.
Is Andrew Beckett the kind of lawyer who misplaces crucial documents?
An excellent lawyer.
Andrew Beckett is dying.
You were impressed with Andrew Beckett's work.
Andrew Beckett is angry.
What powerful force has caused him to change his mind?
And he wants someone to pay.
TriStar Pictures presents
The law's been broken.
I just want what is fair, what is right.
You remember the law, don't you?
a Jonathan Demme picture.
So let's talk about what this case is really all about.
Did you fire Andrew Beckett because he had AIDS?
The general public's hatred, our loathing, our fear.
In this courtroom, Mr. Miller, justice is blind to matters of sexual orientation.
We don't live in this courtroom, no, do we?
Tom Hanks,
I love the law.
Denzel Washington
Are you gay?
Objection!
in a story about our lives,
Oh, Mom, today's a good day.
our
Weird,
fears,
isn't it? Because the music almost doesn't fit the dramatic tone.
and our humanity.
I hate this case.
No.
Like, this is not a happy movie, and yet the
Philadelphia.
sound
How many
is...
lawyers you go to before you call me?
9.
It's a good trailer, that, man. It's a really, really good trailer. The music they selected did not match the dramatic tone that the movie actually has. Very 90s. But
It's weird though, yeah, because I do recall like feeling. I have to agree, because I remember chills when I was watching the film, because it was like, again, you picture Tom Hanks, you take that earlier part where you feel like it's kind of comedic, and the film just goes deeper and deeper. So I would agree with you on that.
yeah. Your final score for it?
Oh, do you know what?
And final analysis?
My final analysis is that it is an absolute must see. Now, here's the ignorant part of me. It's not ignorant. It's the lasting impression of the film. Philadelphia's a one-time watch, but it's lasted with me throughout. Yeah, lasted throughout, even to the degree that I could give what it is. And I feel, even for the fact that I used it as an example just last week, not knowing that it's coming this week, it just shows the power of the middle ground film. So I will definitely give it 2 thumbs up. I'm just off the mark of giving it GOAT status, just because I can't remember it enough for it to say if it qualifies that. But then, do you know what? Actually, do you know what? Throw it up. Because of the taboo that it challenged and the way it done, throw it up. Let's make the noise. Let's give it a good old bah. Yeah, it's got its good old GOAT status, because the turning point that it done, and for the fact that middle ground movies don't have a place like it does anymore. Yeah. This is a one of a kind film, actually.
Denzel Washington became Denzel Washington in this movie. The Denzel that we still know and love to this day was born in front of us in this movie. Tom Hanks became Tom Hanks in this movie. This movie is responsible for making 2 of the greatest of all time. It blew the roof off of what a homosexual performance could be, of what a leading black man could be. In some ways, it did change parts of cinema. It's incredibly engaging. It is rewatchable despite having heavy subject matter, because it's so well made. It doesn't quite get GOAT status for me, not for any negative reason other than just an enjoyment factor. It's a 2 thumbs up for me. I absolutely love this film.